How are you, Hasnain?
Alhamdulillah.
Since we had an entire day with you and I saw you how motivated you are about English language and teaching, and we all know your journey, we don't have to repeat that. I just have a few questions for you. Since I've been teaching kids for a very long time now in different international schools of Pakistan, and now it's been a year that I'm teaching IELTS and PTE also, there are a lot of problems that we see that students of any age group face, especially the students of your age group. And being a teacher, I've observed that no matter how well do we teach them at school, when they go back to their homes and they switch to their mother tongue or their first language, maybe Urdu, English, Pashto, Punjabi, whatever, not English, Punjabi or whatever. So they're not, and when they come back to school, they're not really good at English again. So we have to start from the scratch. As teachers, they have to start from the scratch again. So what can you suggest for such students?
Well, I would necessarily say, for example, currently I'm learning Japanese. I've not learned it properly, but I do know a lot about it. And in comparison, I've learned many different languages: Chinese, Japanese, English, Urdu, Pashto, and Urdu are obviously, but Urdu was also learned. So the thing is, for example, that now I'm learning Japanese. Nobody in Pakistan necessarily knows how to speak. And of course, I'm obligated that when I meet my parents, I can't speak to them in Japanese or in English. So I'm supposed to speak in our mother tongue with them. But the thing is that, for example, when I'm in my free time, I try to repeat the things that I learn. I try to repeat them, I try to recall them. I write things. For example, in my home, I have my own room. So in my room, I have multiple different posters of the alphabets of Japanese or of the alphabets or of the writings of that. I have multiple different sentences, multiple different readings, multiple different writing pieces. So all those things are on the walls or on the places written with me. So in that case scenario, when I wake up or when I look around, I have a lot of different places to get imagination or to get inspiration from. And then, for example, when I'm cooking or when I'm writing or when I'm doing anything that doesn't require me to speak, in that case scenario, I try to speak or try to think in Japanese or in that. So the same case is with English. Because I was very young while learning English, most of it was just by birth. So you can't actually say that I use strategy for it. But the children that are my age and do not have the same capacity of learning English, just as the version of them that was like, for example, 6 years ago or 7 years ago. So I would say that you try to recall the things that you do or that you speak. Try to have the pieces of writing with you. Try to recall those. Try to write them with you. And most probably read a lot, listen a lot, and speak a lot.
Okay, so basically, what you're trying to say is that it's not just the school that plays the part, but it's the conscious effort that has to be put in at home also, where the students, they are interacting with that language in multiple ways, and that's when they actually groom in that particular language, be it English or Japanese or anything. All right. So we're done with this part where the parents have a role in it. I would be talking to some parent on that maybe one day. So they have to put a conscious effort and learn the language.
Yeah.
So can you tell some other resources, like kids these days use a lot of social media and internet.
Of course,
so how can they get help from that?
Well, personally, I'll give you my example. I love reading things that are interesting to me. For example, if a kid likes something like fanfics is like fan fiction, and fans of their own, they create these little stories revolving around their favorite series. They can read those. It's in English. If lots of children like to watch reels or shorts, etc. nowadays, so I would believe go for more of an English approach rather than watching Indians or rather than watching Pakistanis in the same language. Go and watch people that are speaking English. You'll have the same pleasure or you'll have the same time pass and enjoyment, but rather you'll also be learning and having a conscious effort to understand. I've seen it. My sister, for example, she doesn't know how to speak proper English. So when she isn't obligated, she likes to watch the Indians or Pakistanis. But when she's obligated or when she doesn't have a choice, she tries to play a conscious effort to understand what is that guy speaking, what is he saying, what is she saying. She's trying to understand that. The same is with every single children. If you force yourself into understanding, you'll do it. That's the case when lots of illiterate people go to abroad or go to places such as England or in UK or in America. they speak very good English within a less amount of time because
Very
they're
true.
forced and obligated to speak and understand the language.
Because they have to.
Yeah, because they have to.
So what I can infer from what you just said is that incorporating English into the activities that kids are already involved in
Yeah.
would really help
Would
them.
really help them.
And it won't even make them feel that they're learning,
Yeah,
but they would be
but they would
learning
be learning.
consciously and subconsciously. All right. So we've talked about the students who have the access to good schools, are privileged to good teachers, to good academies. They are in big cities. I just want you to talk about a little about the children or the people who do not have access to really good schools, right? To English medium schools most of the times, and to good academies, and all this stuff which brings them to learn English really well. So what would you, because they sometimes use this as an excuse for themselves that we are not able to learn or excel in something because we don't have the resources for that. What would you like to say about that?
The category of underprivileged you're saying is still more privileged than the students that watch my videos, if I'm being honest. Let me tell you a story. These students are basically just making excuses. Let me tell you, there is a guy that is in, for example, I remember there was a comment that a guy said that I basically live in Gilgit Baltistan and there's no internet, if you know. And he lives on top of a mountain. He says that I go from the top of the mountain down towards the city side. I go inside there, I pay, and I install your videos in my phone and in that memory card, and when I go back up to my mountain, then I watch them again and again. And he learned good English because he was better than most of the students. Now let me tell you, do we have such underprivileged? We do have, but let me tell you, are there still underprivileged more than that guy? No, they don't have to walk miles. He
Yeah.
walks miles, but he's determined. It's about the determination, if being honest, because I lived not in like Islamabad. Islamabad, everybody speaking English. In Peshawar, literally nobody, most of the people don't even know Urdu.
Yeah.
Except for the parts where there are people that are either living outside of Peshawar, people that are actually Punjabis or from other parts of Pakistan, they speak Urdu. Other than that, they don't even know how to speak Urdu there. And I'm still trying my best, and I learned English language there. It's about that determination that it takes. It's not about being underprivileged or being privileged. It's that you have that conscious effort. There are thousands of different articles, there are thousands of different newspapers, there are thousands of different videos, etc. Even if you don't understand it, you can find somebody that can help you out with it. And I believe that most probably you're going to find such lectures, such teachers, if not in real life, online you're going to find them. And you're going to have a good lifestyle, or you're going to have a good accent of English, or you're going to have a good accent or lifestyle of English language that revolves around it. It's never about having opportunity or having equipment. I don't have the equipment. I don't have the perfect things to do. Lots of people tell me that they want to become like me, but they don't have the opportunity or money to become like me. I told them I never had the money, I never had the opportunity. I still use a smartphone of my mother or of mine to make videos on it. I still don't have the same privileges that most children have. I never used a proper camera that I own. I never used those. So the thing is that it's not always about having privileges or not, it's about the determination. If you have determination, if you have the spirit to take what's on forward, you're inshallah going to do it yourself. And if not, you're going to continue making excuses और अपने आप को एक धोखे के अंदर रखेंगे.
All right, so if we conclude it, so you mean to say that where there is a will, there's a way?
Yeah.
And if you come up with excuses, you would have 100 more excuses.
100 more excuses.
And it's determination that really works. So those who do not have a lot of resources, but if they have the will to learn something, they would definitely do, utilizing even the limited resources that they have. And we know that when somebody puts an effort into something, they are definitely going to excel in that. So far what we said, or what you said, we can conclude, me being a teacher and an English language instructor who teaches very young kids as well as adults in IELTS and PT in advanced English, and you being an instructor as well, what we can conclude for all the age groups is that the environment is necessary, but you have to create that environment of learning,
Yourself.
because if you're not interacting, if you're not incorporating that language into your activities, you're not going to learn, because school enough is not going to do everything for you.
Of
The
course.
environment matters, and then using the limited resources to learn something would definitely get you ahead in life. Yes, so
Yeah,
do
of
we
course.
agree on that?
Yeah, we do.
All right, so it was really nice talking to you.
Of course,
I
thanks
loved
so much.
interacting with you on the
Thank you
topic of
so
specially
much.
kids.
Yeah, thank you so much. I also really enjoyed, and thank you so much for questioning me today, because it's always interesting to have the questions and curiosities of people and helping out people that are in need and that are in need of learning or that are curious. So it's always
And also sometimes
amazing. Yeah.
and also sometimes we prove to be a source of motivation for someone.
For some people, for someone, and I believe that's the greatest opportunity we get. If somebody is motivated by us, that's one good thing that we are doing and we are serving to the world. It's not about the 1,000 people that watch, but it's about the one person that implements your videos.
Exactly.
So I believe
True.
that's very, I'm happy to be a part of that. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity.
I'm equally grateful, and we'll really catch up soon again on similar topics.
Inshallah, inshallah. Thanks so
Alright.
much.